Hey, Guy here. Welcome back to Amore Van. We're here with Dan and Laura at the 2024 Embassy RV Rally. And you know what? These rallies, I like to walk around and see who's got some great mods. And I've heard rumor that Dan and Laura have some great mods, and they've agreed to show them to us today. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so Dan, I understand the first thing you're going to show us is a bike rack that you've built. And why don't you just explain to me what I'm looking at?
All right, so it's just welded aluminum. So we cut out a plate here and built a bigger plate that would hold the forks of any bike, and we welded that plate onto here. And then I did the same thing on the bottom to have another place to mount the wheel, the bottom wheel of the bike. This rack holds two bikes. We don't have e-bikes, we have regular bikes, but I don't know why e-bike wouldn't work. It's just the battery tube is a little bit fatter, so I think it would still work. And I can show you how to put the bike on now.
Great, that'd be great. So I'm going to back up. You take the bike.
So this is a 29-inch mountain bike. The tire is 29 inches. And the fork just mounts in there. And the other bike, you can do, and that tightens fast, really hard. And then the other bike can fit right behind it. I've got another spot for it right here. And then here I've got a Velcro strap and a D-ring that I just go through like this. And then the bike's in there. And I can put two in there.
Looks awesome. Now, for our fellow owners who are looking at this video, the first word that's going to have jumped out at them is welded.
Yeah, so I'm a little unique in that I'm kind of handy, and I do have I work at a technical college, and the technical college has a lot of departments, and one of the departments is welding and machining. So I was able to get them to cut these plates for me, and they made both of these plates. They did it with a plasma laser. So that's all you need.
All right.
You know, probably a couple $1 million machine.
Yeah, on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Wait for Amazon days.
Yeah. And then they welded it for me. And I had to, a case of beer or something for the guy that did it for me, whatever. And yeah, so that's how I made it. And it's just fastened to the T-track, I believe it's called, that Terry puts in with the spring nuts.
All right.
And I just mounted it twice.
Well, it looks very secure and very efficient use of space.
Oh, and one other thing I just thought of is that a lot of people think you have to have the pedals either flip up pedals or take the pedals off. And I only have to do one pedal. It's the near bike up against the wall. That pedal does hit the wall, so you have to take it off. Otherwise, the other ones you can just have poking through the frames. And then the spare tires, the front tires just go wherever you can get them. You can lean them up against here, against the wall. Or I like to take the 26-inch wheel from my wife's bike, put it on the bottom, and then from the inside I can sneak this tire in and set it on top, and then just bungee them to the bikes. And
as you know, and as most of the people who follow the channel know, the Embassy RV, you guys have got the Dolphin S, is available on 3 different chassis. And one of the advantages of the 4 chassis, which we had and which you've chosen, is this great big garage, right? Yes. Quite a bit of room between the back wall and the doors to fit a lot of this stuff. You don't necessarily get that with the other chassis.
Right.
But I've also been given a little preview by Laura that there's some great stuff inside the van to look at too. So why don't we go in and look at that?
Sounds great.
All right, so we were about to walk into the van when I noticed something that I think people will be interested in. You've done something with the steps. What have you done here?
Yes, so we don't have any sort of carpet outside because we didn't want to have to store it anywhere. So we had just gotten this rug from Menards.
Yep.
And we cut it in half, so it was like that. And then basically what it does is you can wipe your feet here, and then you can wipe your feet here, and then you go and you're pretty clean. So when we pick up to go, we just have to put this one on top, give it a good shake, and then close the door and we're ready to go.
And they look like they're probably pretty easy to clean, right?
Super easy to clean, absolutely.
All
Yeah,
right.
brush them off and they're good to go.
Okay.
And then they're not wet and you don't have to store anything wet in the van.
Ingenious. All right, so what's next?
Okay, so I was also complaining to my husband, who's got an engineer brain, about water bottles. So he also was able to take a CNC router. Oops, hi, CNC router. And our water bottles are big. You know, if you are traveling in one of these vans, there's not a lot of cup holders that fit big water bottles. So he actually fastened this, made it to fit exactly what our water bottles are. And they don't rattle, they don't move anywhere, but he took a CNC router. I don't know what else he did. And he traced them and he made it to work. So then now, instead of having our water bottles have to fit way up there, we have them back here and they're just stored and they're secure.
That's great, because we have the same chassis that you have, and we have the big 32 ounce. I forget what brand. That's Hydro Flask,
Hydro
right?
Flask,
Yeah,
yep.
same thing we have, and they don't fit in the standard Ford cup holders,
Right?
And so we got these inserts that you can put into the cup holders. And they're great, except usually when I go to take the water bottle out, the insert comes with it.
Yep.
So that's a little bulky. So so this is better.
Yes, it's very nice.
Excellent.
Another place to store.
All right, what's next?
So, do you want to come in the van
Sure.
to see the silverware thing? So, Dan surprised me for Christmas this year, and I always was having a hard time trying to find out where to store my silverware and to store the plates. We had them in the drawer before, and everything was just completely jumbled. So I was talking to Dan about that, and again, he used a CNC router, and he came up with a place that we don't normally store anything, which is in the back closet. So it's over the panel that you normally would have. Well, that's where the fuse box is. And so he actually made a cutout for all of the silverware and our knives that we use. So I can just do that, and I can just pull one out when I need it. And then for the plates, he also, I just have to release that. My plates come down, and I can still get at that panel that I need to.
Look at that. And this was made again with CNC.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's multiple plies of a PVC plastic.
Okay.
Yep, and it's attached to the existing screws that were already in the van, so there's no new screws that are in here. So that's the even better part as well.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. Now you showed me a couple other things before we started filming, so let's look at those.
Okay. So one other thing we wanted to show you was how we do our beds. So
I'm going to switch places with you probably.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to let Dan talk through some of this.
We'll just set up this bed to show you how we do it, and you'll just have to assume we do it with the other one.
Yep. We do it on both. Yep.
So you just take the cushion off. You'll notice that we don't bring any of the cushions that we got with the Embassy. The only cushions we have to lean up against is these, which will become part of our bedding system, and then we use our sleeping pillows for leaning up against things and stuff.
Yes.
So we just set this over here. We set these over here. We lift this off. And then we roll the bed out.
Yep.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
About like that. And the plan is if we do that on both sides, we leave about a 6 or 8 inch gap so that one of us can get up and go to the bathroom at night or something without having to wake the other person up. One of the big things about this system that we came up with is this clipping system. So all of our bedding is stored underneath, so we don't have to worry about storing any bedding. It's always
just under the cushion.
Big cushion.
Yep.
And we have these carabiner clips, and these aren't like mountain climbing ones. These are just cheapo aluminum ones. These are maybe even keychain type things, you know. And I've got D-rings that I put on the existing screws that holds this board onto this frame. So this little D-ring and a keychain loop is all I have. And then I just put grommets in all of the bedding. So these are, would you say, twin beds?
They're twin size.
Sheets, twin size, comforter, fleeces, sheets, and you just put grommets in these positions where these D-rings are. And then you're able to put a carabiner clip on there, and you're able to hook that on there. And then all you do is you flip your bedding up. You take these that we made, just regular foam that you cut. And then my daughter, who's very handy and creative,
like her dad,
sewed that for us. She sewed us some covers. So I have to come out with it a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Let me get in there.
Okay, just tuck that in there. We pull the bedding out.
We got to put this up first, the cushion.
I just want to make sure that thing is back far enough, so now we have to go back with it.
So it's a little bit of adjusting, but it's not bad.
Okay. Then we tuck this in. Pull all the bedding over. Take this one.
Is it this one?
Put that in there. And we actually made another little shim to go in between. And I actually put a little bump board, a little piece of plastic on the backside to keep that cushion from falling off, you know. And then you just throw this over. And then I do this part, and then Laura does all the tucking because she can make it really nice and tight.
Like a regular bed.
That's a regular bed then.
Yep.
Because now you're wider. You see, you're wider than the normal embassy bed. But then you've got your fleece underneath, so it's not like you're sleeping on plastic. You've got an undersheet, you've got a top sheet, got another fleece, and it's all modular. So if it's cold, you clip one of these on. If it's not cold, you store that somewhere else. But that's what we do.
Looks great. So the cushions have been the foam you've cut to match the height of the embassy cushion, right? So that you get a nice level surface. And how much additional width are you getting there? So about maybe 4 inches or so. And so the embassy sofa comes 24. So you've got it up to 28, which is a nice comfortable bed.
It is. Yep.
And this foam, I think I bought 24-inch. So I bought it wide, and then I just cut some strips out of it. And this was the standard width that it came in. And you're going to want to make sure that you know this depth that you're cutting, because when the board comes out and slides out, it actually, the back behind it is actually recessed. Because that board has got the thickness of the frame and the board. So you just make sure you get the right thickness.
All right. Well, that looks great. And it looks like, it's been a long day. I'm kind of sleepy. I could just crawl right in there right now, but I won't do that to you.
So it's a good way to store the bedding, because otherwise where do you put all that bedding? And it's another good way to make it feel like a real bed. Not just like a cot. Plastic couch with a sleeping bag on.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much for sharing all these great mods with us, and I'm sure all the owners who are looking at this video are going to be contacting you to see which one of them they can do. They're probably going to have to skip that one that involves the double secret NASA laser or whatever it is. But the bed mod looks like something someone could do if they're willing to spend enough time, and the other mods, even if they might find them challenging, they'll probably give them some ideas of ways they can do it with the tools available to them. So, thanks very much.
Thank you.
We hope you found this helpful, and we'll see you next time here at Amore Van.